Hey guys, this is Jody with the Whiskey Rebellion Barcast, and we're back again. We're not doing it on Sunday. We're doing it on Monday. Rob's making a lot of noise as usual. Wait for his phone; it'll go off here momentarily. But hey guys, everybody, welcome to the show. I'll tell you what I'm having first. I'm having some of this. It's a finished rum cast, and it is a Doc Swinson's, and it's a 95 proof. I will tell you on the smell of it, it has. You can definitely get the cinnamon from it, but you can also get a lot of those spices that you would normally find in a rum, like the fruits and stuff like that. The high sugar content, that's what it smells a lot like. On the notes, on tasting it.
Nice.
I hate to use this term because, well, if Jay was here, he hates it. It is very smooth, all right? But now it's only a 95 proof, so it has a lot to do with it. But front end, mouthful of fruit, back end, it's almost like quite honestly, it tastes a lot like a rum. It has a lot of happiness going all the way back. And then when it hits the tongue, that's the back of the tongue, that's where you start to feel the heat from it, which would normally classify it as a bourbon at that point. But it's very front end heavy rum tasting, to be honest with you. So it's very sweet. But anyhow, guys, everybody, welcome to the show. David, you're looking at your phone, so tell us what you're drinking.
I was looking at the text message you sent me, but
I do that on occasion.
No, it's your fault. Yeah, I run Burgundy myself.
Speaking of which, I seen a truck today as a Jeep. So props out to the Jeep owners. And on the back of it, it said, had a bumper sticker out. We were both stopped at the same light, and it said, if I'm driving bad or whatever, just send me a text. And I was like, that's hilarious. Because it made me giggle.
That we never do that, right?
It made me horse giggle. Because I was sitting there, I was like, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're like this number. I'm going to take a picture of this nonsense. Probably both hands, rubbing with their knee, so on and so on. Anyhow, I'm sorry, David, go ahead.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, but anyway, I am having the Old Scout. This is a store pick from Cheers in kind of like the Mount Juliet kind of area. It's kind of like an in-between area, but I would say it's closer to Mount Juliet than anywhere else. Store pick turned on to me by Jeff from our group here. Cool store, cool owner. Got to talk to him for a little bit. I've never had Old Scout before, so I don't have anything to compare it with. I am enjoying this overall. You get like a nice, almost like a floral nose on it. You get like some vanilla and honeysuckle and stuff like that. The front of it is like almost like a butterscotch. It starts out very sweet, and then it goes bitter at the end. You get a little of the oak and the spice, and then it goes almost like a cranberry or something at the end. And I personally find that a little bit discordant. I'm not displeased with it overall, but it's a little discordant, the finish. And maybe after I have a few, I'll feel differently about it. But this one, I saw a variation on these store picks. This one is 57.1% alcohol. And I saw a couple of different ones there that range from like 51% to 57%. And because I was like, well, that's the most, and they're all the same price, that's the one I went with. So again, not sure what I could compare that to, not having tried the other expressions or anything else like that. Not a bad bottle, but if you're not anticipating sort of like the cranberry, citrusy kind of almost tart fruit on the end, you may be a little disappointed with it. Yeah, those are my notes on this one.
That's what
Cool.
I like.
Cool
That
deal,
one's
man.
an all MGP product.
That's a what now? MGP?
MGP.
Yep. There you go. Oh, you got it too. Mark, do you agree with me? Can we go to Mark next? Do you agree with me?
I was just gonna say something real quick. I had a finishing note because you guys know how much I love cherry taste. So I was sitting here and all of a sudden it hit me late back in, like a strong cherry taste just came to me. So I had another taste just to see if I can confirm it. So with that, the Doc Swinson, there is Rumcast. It does definitely have a late after effect of a cherry as well. So yeah, let's do that. Let's go to Mark and see what he thinks.
Hey guys, so real quick, I'm wearing my lei, as I told my guys earlier. I'm still irritated because I was supposed to be in Kauai last year. Today, that damn Corona canceled. So this is the lei that I wore the last time actually the last time I was in Hawaii, where I am about 98% sure I came back with COVID. That was December of 2019. I took my dad. And yeah, anyway. So I am sipping one of my old favorites tonight, Knob Creek.
Nice. Love Knob Creek. Love it.
Yeah, the funny thing is, so sometimes on Friday, some of the Arizona bourbon guys, we hit a couple stores together, and we usually stand in the aisles and talk. And folks are amazed. It's usually 3 or 4 of us that, you know, we all know each other, or well, everyone knows me. I'm the black guy with a T-shirt on, so everyone knows me. It's the weirdest thing. We all have a whole conversation, and I kept looking at this, and I'm thinking, do I have a 12? I don't know if I have a 12. So I said, hell, I'll buy it. If I do have it, great. If I don't, great. So I have.
How do the other black guys dress? I'm just curious. I was stuck there in a mental image.
A little more conservative.
Yeah, you know, I'm known for my T-shirts, so you know, and my masks. So, but yeah, so I got it home, and my 12 was empty. So I'm glad I did get this. And my second, if I so choose to go with the second, I'm going to good old standard here. Thank you, David. David re-upped me, so now I can kill this one.
Good.
Although I still have about 4 of these sitting in DC at my dad's right now. He picked up a bunch for me. So
well, there you go. You're set up.
Hill, you can kill them now. I got plenty, boy. I have plenty of these, you know. So yeah, man.
There you have it. All right. Well, Billy has a coin as well that he's going to tell us about, but we're also going to talk about what you're having. And welcome to the show, Billy.
Thank you, guys, gentlemen. Be good to yourself. Shout out to my guy Rob again. I am having the Old Forester Statesman. I've been working pretty hard, and it was sitting here next to the computer waiting for me. So I said, why not? So again, another good favorite of mine. And even though he's not on the show today, shout out to Jonathan. That boy's a wrecking ball for sure. Absolutely. I appreciate the support with that guy. Absolutely. David here, again, it's like a coin from the cigar group that I'm a part of. It's Georgia and Florida. They're all numbered. We get together quite often.
I just see a number 1 there. That's all I see.
It just says number 19.
I was referring to the bird, but yeah, it's too small to read.
And if any of you guys have seen any of my Facebook posts, you've seen me with a cigar and giving this pledge here. So that's what it's about. It's nothing personal. It's just me and the guys giving each other hell. And I'm proud to say my wife has number 18. So she's also a part of the group. Yeah. Nice. So, and again, it's a bottle opener as well. And when we get together, if you get caught without your coin, you buy the next round. And it's actually quite weighty, you know. I mean, I wouldn't want somebody to throw this thing at me. So
you realize if it's not there, dude.
Yeah. So it's something that I make sure I always have in my pocket when we get together.
So do you know so from what you were telling me, the story is that with you guys, if whoever doesn't have it, if you're all out and this, that, and whatever, you have to, the person who doesn't have it, you probably have to slam it down and show that you have it on the table, and whoever doesn't have it has to pay for the rounds. Correct? All right. That's a military thing that started with us, but how it originally started was in Thailand, and it's called Smiles. And what that is you purchase a,
I love that you're going to tell this story. Sorry.
A young, I wouldn't say young, but like a participant, that a working person that will get underneath the table and then actually that's a different story altogether. I'm just playing with y'all. It actually comes from the military story about how we would do that. And whoever didn't have it, you had to pay for the rounds. It was a crew thing that expanded from there. The other story I was making up.
Can I just call you out? Because I feel like you were getting ready to tell the real story and then decided you didn't want that recorded. And you're like, I'm just kidding. It's a military thing only.
It's actually a different game called Smile. It's called Smiles.
I know. You've told me what Smiles is, but I was like, that's an after show conversation. What are you doing?
Yeah. But I chose not to tell that story.
That's a
and it's not an after show tonight because hockey's
that's
on.
an after dark comment. That's a
and the
Max after dark.
The guys who actually started this group, they are 95% military.
No,
And I'm fortunate enough that Jason is one of my good buddies. I've known Jason since like 6th grade. So I was accepted into the fold.
There you go.
very nice, very nice. Mal, I know you're getting ready to run off here shortly because it's like, I don't know, really early in the morning there. Would you tell us what you're having as a nightcap and welcome to the show, man.
So, thank you, brother. I am drinking a secret bottle. I am not allowed to talk about this bottle until the weekend because I am one of the first to receive it as part of the club that I'm in over here. Just on the off chance that any of the guys do actually see the broadcast, and I know that some of the guys are signed up. I'm not going to give away the name of the bottle. I am drinking a rye whiskey. That much I know is public.
Well, is it American rye or is it maybe a European rye?
It's not an American rye, surprisingly enough.
Is it a Russian rrie?
It's not a Russian rye at all.
Is it close to the Netherlands rye?
I thought they made everything out of potatoes.
Well,
No.
are you talking about the Russians? Right, the Russian rye.
Yeah, the
No.
Russians. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm drinking an absolutely stunning rye whiskey that I'm gonna say takes me back to possibly gives the main note is a Scandinavian rye bread with bacon spices, a little bit of sweetness, and
Scandinavian.
Sorry, Jay, but this is smooth. I mean, it is as smooth as a snail's lips. It really is absolutely stunning. It is a 96 proof, and towards the end of the week, I will be posting pictures and a full rundown of this stuff. But yeah, secret bottle rye whiskey reminds me of Scandinavian rye bread. Takes me back to a former memory. Absolutely beautiful. That's all I'm allowed to say.
Scandinavian.
Just to give you guys a quick view, this is how we.
That's a hell of a greeting.
Of course.
That's a hell of a greeting.
A hell of a salutation. Mal, the way you described that, I really wish I've ever had a Scandinavian rye bread. But it sounds fantastic.
Dave, that's not where I thought you were going with that, brother.
All right, so Chucky Chuck,
But I like where you went with it.
what we having, brother?
Nice.
Well, tonight I'm having Stag Junior, batch 15, 131.1 proof.
I have one of those. That's lovely. Beautiful.
On the nose, I get caramel cream right off the bat. Very sweet, brown sugar. There's a little oak, tobacco, some orange, and a very little bit of cherry on the back end. As far as the taste, the heat's really toned down on this one. I did add a few drops of water to it, although you really there's some brown sugar, some orange peel. I did take notes, of course, on this one. Pepper, sweet oak, and that milk chocolate, almost like those what are they called? I know there's a name for it. They're chocolate covered cherries. And the finish on it is very long. And it just follows through where it ends with that chocolate covered cherry. I guess it's called a cordial finish.
Yes,
and it's just one of the best batches so far that I've had, other than batch number 12, which was phenomenal.
Chuck, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What would you like to have for dinner with a Stag Junior?
Oh, that's easy. That would either be some type of, say, like a steak, like a tenderloin, possibly. I'm sorry.
Ribeye for me, but I'm with you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I could see that.
Kansas City.
Yes, definitely some red meat. Definitely steak, potatoes, asparagus. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it in my head. Right up exactly what I would go with. Very nice.
Honestly, I just want whatever my bourbon of the night to go with one of your tomahawk steaks that you made, Billy. In that picture. So I looked at
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That would be
Awesome.
good with pretty
They
much
look
any
awesome.
liquor that I have. Any
Yeah.
liquor. I would be a happy man. I always it's like what food pairs what that does, that thing right there.
Whatever Billy's cooking.
Yes.
It pairs with anything.
Generally
Yeah.
speaking, but the tomahawk steak in particular.
Just
Yeah.
sit and wait for Billy's video. Okay, that's it. That would pair really well with whatever the hell is in my
Mhm.
bottle.
I'm drinking a glass of water. What would it pair with? That.
Yeah. Hey, goes good with water as well, apparently.
Absolutely.
All right, Rob, what we having, brother?
Oh,
Glad to see you
gentlemen,
and your hairy chest.
There you go.
so
Facebook after dark.
sitting outside the apartment here in Ohio tonight. And I picked this little baby up privately.
Yes. Yeah.
A little Peerless Rye.
Mm.
Nice.
This is
Yeah.
quite
I
a
don't mind it
delicious
at all.
whiskey.
It's nice.
Is that a 375?
That is not a 375. This is the full bottle.
Wow.
It's 110.
It looks
proof.
small in your hands.
That's what she said
Perspective.
all the time.
It'll look tiny in Chuck's hands then. Look at that.
It's a squat bottle, very squat.
Mm.
Yeah.
But it is for 110 proof rye. I mean, you definitely get that little bit of rye zing on the tongue, but there is no alcohol burn here at 110 proof on this thing, like that dangerous drinking kind of thing. Like, wow, lots of getting some baking spice on the initial. Definitely picking up some caramel. Not so much vanilla on this one. There's maybe a hint of citrus as it's going down and finishing. About a medium to a long finish on it. Good mouthfeel. Quite nice. It was a little expensive. It was a little more. It was a little bit outside my comfort zone. And I think I paid $82.99 for that,
Yeah.
which
That's-
it isn't terrible. Seeing as I've seen Peerless at on and some other states at 110, 120 bucks a bottle. So at $82.99, there's one store on my way out of as I crossed over from Ohio into PA. It's like the last liquor store in Ohio.
Yeah, Rob, it's the same price here. It's 89, like 89 here. I think I saw it for at a random liquor store, like literally 5 minutes from my house. I saw it, and they had plenty of it. So it was same price.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Drinking it now, Rob. Drinking it now, Rob. Does it feel justified? Does the price feel justified drinking it now?
I
Yeah.
would,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. That's it.
Yes.
It was a good spend. So, like I said, for what I paid for it and that feeling I get from it, that's a really good rye whiskey, and I didn't get the age.
That's what's
statement.
important, bud. You're happy with it.
I'm happy with it, and it doesn't have an age statement on it. I'm looking. I don't know if that's a date. I'll look it up and figure it out. But it's a non-chill, non-filtered, sweet mash bill. So I highly enjoying it.
Very nice.
Nice. All right. So tonight we're not really going to have a topic per se. We're going to talk about what's going on this week. So this week we have the Derby on Saturday, and then we also have May 1st, whenever day that week that is. That'd be Saturday. All right. Yep. So we got.
How many of you guys are going to John's thing?
I think there's only a few. Are you going?
I am gonna go. Yeah, I think I'm
you might need to let him know that because I talked to him earlier today.
I'll reach out.
Yeah, just he sent you an email.
Yeah, I'm not good about checking the email. Yeah,
Not email. It was a PM. It was a PM, I think.
I'll look after the show. Yeah,
absolutely.
Get
He just
diverted.
wants your confirmation. But so there's that going on, and then Thursday's the draft. who's excited about their team if they have a team? I mean,
I'm very excited. Miami, I think, has
like they've been in the top 5 picks for like the last century, so they
yeah,
should be
but
there.
I think this time I think they have in the first round. I think they got like 2 or 3 picks. Like in the first round, they really
didn't they trade away their top 3 or top 4 picks and moved down?
they went down and then they went back up 1 spot. So, but I think what they're trying to do is build something around Tua. So we'll see what happens with that. I still don't think they should have got rid of Fitzpatrick. I think that was a mistake, but we'll see.
And I'll take him.
I think Fitzpatrick, if I'm not mistaken, went to Harvard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Dude's a brain.
Yeah.
What were you saying about people that are smart earlier about them being dumb? Anyway, continue.
Okay, so listen. Let me say
Guys,
this.
sorry, can I just interrupt? I'm going to head off now.
All right, good night. Nighty night.
Well, cheers.
I've noticed on some occasions that some of these PhDs, the smarter you guys get, sometimes the dumber you get. You can put a rocket in space, but you can't tie your shoes anymore. You got to give up.
We all wear Velcro now.
Yeah. So
this could degenerate quickly, but yeah, I think as a general statement, it can be true when you start breathing some rare air and you get into a highly specialized sort of group of minds that you kind of lose touch with everybody else. So in that sense, I can definitely agree with you, Billy.
Yeah, and it's relative too, because as a chef, and I'm sure Rob can agree, we sometimes see people doing stuff and we're just like, what? And most people may not pick up on it or think there's something wrong with it. But when I see somebody doing something that's gonna either get somebody physically hurt or like literally put somebody in the hospital from food poisoning, it's like, what are you doing? Why are you in the kitchen? And you look at it, and if you ever see a chef sitting at the table and he's not eating, just know he knows something that you don't.
I will not eat another bite.
All right, so let's do this kind of around the horn since there's only 6 of us, and I'll start. Who's your team? And are you? I just asked the question of this: Are you having anything special for that day? And I'll start. I don't have a team. I don't even care about the NFL. It's a complete waste of my time. So, but I will.
Glad you brought it up.
But I will be having a drink. Not because of that, because I'm sure there'll be hockey on, or it's a Thursday. That seems like a reasonable aspect to have a drink. So, David, what about you?
Me, I think in terms of not being written out of my inheritance, I'm contractually obligated to say I'm a Steelers fan. That I am from Pittsburgh. Seriously. Okay, the story I've ever told this. Like, I've got little cousins; they're all grown now, but like they got like signed like Steelers jerseys as kids for like as a Christmas present like years and years ago, and I'll never forget this. They were so overwrought with joy that like they wept. Like on Christmas morning that they got Steelers jerseys. Like that's how fanatical the rest of my family is about the Steelers and about the NFL in general. Like I like to sit down and watch a game, drink a couple beers, kind of thing. But like I'm not invested. But like I know I got to give the other team shit or whatever because like that's what you do. Me personally, I'd rather sit down and watch a good football game and like not really care. My thing is like I do fantasy draft with a group of friends that I've had for a long time from work. Like that's when I get interested in what's going on. Before and after, like probably not really. I don't watch most games in a season, if I'm being honest, or any games in some seasons as it goes. So like, am I going to watch this particular NFL draft? Probably not, but I am going to want to start paying attention when it comes time to do the fantasy draft kind of thing. And I'm usually drinking Guinness. That's just kind of a tradition for me that we'll get together and do our draft and I will drink Guinness pretty much every time. Cause most of the time we end up doing it B-dubs and like, Guinness is really the only good thing they have on tap there. So that's what I get.
True statement.
Couldn't go to B-dubs if you paid me.
Well, there goes that.
But if you
sponsorship.
but if you can get them to, if you can get it's off menu now. The triple threat nachos are friggin' fantastic.
I agree with you. Those are good.
Yeah,
Those are very
but
good.
they don't make. I don't know if they've really made them officially for a while. But if you know someone who's been working there and they know how to make them, you can get them. I used to know some of the people that work there. I'd be like, hey, you can hook me up with them triple threat nachos, and it's good. But anyway.
But now I do, just so I can say this, so people don't think I'm anti-football. I love college football, but I just could care absolutely less about professional football. I just don't like. To me, it's like I love college baseball more than I like professional baseball. It's something about the, except for professional hockey, it's something about the mindset. It's as if, well, we're down by 3 touchdowns, no reason to really play anymore. We're getting paid. And when you watch college football and stuff like that, those guys, because they're trying to get to those paychecks, are like completely destroying in their bodies. And that's what I want. That's what I paid to see. That's what I want to see. And of course, the connectivity that you have with your school or whatever it might be. So I don't want anybody to think that. And then one time I was a ginormous NFL fan, and that was with the Chargers. And then my team left my city. And so they abandoned me. So now I have no one else. That's when I was a free agent. Remember that, David? Because James was trying to get me to be a Titans fan. Yeah.
But you've gone to Titans game. You even invited me. I wasn't available.
No, I would love to go. I mean, it's fun, but it's not like hockey.
It's fun to go see sports for sure. Like even if you're not, it's almost like live music. Like, I don't have to love whatever the genre is.
That's kind of hearsay because like you, I don't know if you could pay. Like if I got free tickets to go to a soccer game, I still don't know that I would go.
Okay.
You want to fight soccer hooligans.
No, I think I'd be bored out of my misery. I'd be like a bunch of janky people that were all, hipsters. And I'm just not, that's not who I am, man. I'd rather be around the real people.
Anyway, what I was going to say is your point about college football or college sports in general does resonate. You see a level of risk taking, and the attempts at playmaking that you don't really see on the in a lot of times the professional level, because they're going for broke, because a lot of these guys are trying to make it into the pros. So they're more about like, maybe I can have this breakout play whether or not my team wins or loses, and I can get picked up by whatever. But yeah, you don't really see that. They're a lot more guarded in the NFL. So I can see why some people would find that more boring than college football for sure.
Yeah, that's just me. So anyway, we talked to. So I know Mark is a previously known as Redskin fan.
All things
Washington football team.
That's the way I should have said it. All things Washington.
And my Caps are in second. I'm sorry. Keep going.
I mean, I'd much rather talk hockey. So, I mean, if that's what y'all want to talk about, we can definitely do that.
I'm hoping we'll pick up a decent QB. We'll see what happens. Because we won a division, we're kind of like dead in the middle of everything. So, I don't know if we're going to try to make a move and do something or not. But we have Fitzpatrick, so we have the gunslinger. The good thing is he's not afraid to throw the ball. The bad thing is he's not afraid to throw the ball.
and listen, shouts out to Alex Smith. He hung up the cleats.
Man. Yeah.
He finally hung up the cleats after coming back. Yeah. No, wait a minute, wrong person. I'm thinking of the guy who had the.
You're thinking of the right guy.
That's him. No, that's him.
Yeah, who had
he retired. He was in talks to go to Jacksonville, and I guess him and Urban Meyer didn't work out. So yeah, I'm glad to see him retire.
See, that's why I like this show. It's kind of like I don't really want to change our format to become more. Let's talk about certain types of bourbon and all that nonsense, because that takes away from what the premise behind this was. It was supposed to be just a bunch of people getting together, talking about what we couldn't connect in a bar. And then we just happen to meet from all over the world, really. And we just want to have fun. And that's what this is all about. And I kind of like where we go to different areas and different shenanigans go on. And we kind of have a mission of a topic, and then we never hit it. And I like that.
I have a question and I would love to hear what Chuck and Rob think about this. For the college basketball, pretty soon they're going to be able to take endorsements and make money.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I would love to know what Chuck and Rob think about that.
And being a 5'9" white guy, I have never been into basketball either. I mean, I don't know if white has anything to do with it. I'm just saying, being 5'9" though, all by itself, you're like, After Pee Wee, you were like, nah, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pee Wee ruined it for everybody. And all the short people, he ruined it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do enjoy college hoops. I probably didn't watch as much this past year as I wanted to. I think college sports in general should be, especially in football and basketball. Those are the big drawers. Those
I
are the
disagree.
ones
Baseball is
some-
huge.
No, but it's not drawing the money that
That's because
football-
you guys' team up there sucks. But here in Tennessee, we have 2 of the top 10 right here in Tennessee.
I get that, but I'm just saying.
I just want you to say everybody else sucks.
Just
say it out. Just say it out loud. It's okay.
About the college baseball.
What about
But-
softball? We can talk about that too, because 2 of the top 10 are in Tennessee as well. Just say it. Everybody else sucks.
Everybody else sucks, Jody. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Go back to the regular program.
So I think across the college sports platform, at some point, they need to give these kids an additional way of not feeling like they're getting screwed over every year. I get that, the scholarships are in and of themselves, depending on what school you're going to, anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000 alone, right? I get
That's an
that.
interesting conversation, because I don't know that I agree 100%, but I do kind of.
The education that goes behind it, but especially more so in basketball, because you're talking 12-man, you 10, 12 guys, maybe 14 guys if they get the scholarship. Those guys are getting a lot of recognition. Those guys should have the ability to at least do things like use their name and their jersey number to make a little bit of money to help support them. I definitely agree with. I mean, schools are making a fuck ton.
Oh, it's millions. It
That
is
means a lot of money.
I was
Billions, not millions.
I was Google searching that real quick. Where can I find that fuck ton in the metric system, or even in the rest of it? Where do we put that at? Is that
You
somewhere
start with
beneath-
ton and you scroll
That's
past 3 times.
Okay.
That's the
Fuck
whiskey
ton.
version.
Can I just keep hitting the arrows at the bottom of Google, and it just keeps showing up?
Yeah.
Okay, so they haven't bought one of the top things to be up high in the metric system or in any type of measurement system. Got it.
It's one past shitload.
Oh, I found shitload.
But I think they need to give these kids an alternate path to get some money outside of their scholarship. They, especially in the football, they don't have the opportunity. These kids can't go out and get a campus job, they can.
Yeah.
Most of them aren't, because even in the spring and throughout the summer, there's the supposed mandatory, not mandatory workouts, but if they're not there, they're not playing, right? Let's just be honest. If you're not coming in for those summer camps or for those spring camps, you're probably not
Right.
going to play in the fall. Same with basketball. I mean, those kids work out year round. They don't have that opportunity to go out there and take a summer job like any other college student does to make some extra money to help get them through. Now, I know that there's been some of these college kids saying that they're starving, that they're bullshit. Your meal plan's covered.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Most of your dining hall meal plans, if you choose, and I can say this with certainty, that they can choose what level of meal plan they want. And yes, you can choose the unlimited meal plan, and you can go in and eat as much as you want, as many times a day as you want.
Yeah. Well, also their agent helps them choose that as well, along with that Mustang.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
But it
So
sounds. I was going to say.
my-
It sounds.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say. It sounds like what these young athletes need is like an OnlyFans, but for like athletes, it'd be like only sports fans or something like that. Like, is that?
But
Would that
it's
help
just-
make it through?
Where do you think OnlyFans started?
I don't actually know, but now I feel
don't
less
either.
curious.
However, I have done some research on it since John made me aware that this was
Did
an actual
research.
thing. Yeah.
So tell us what you think, Chuck. What do you think about athletes getting paid?
I just gotta fuck with you, man.
I agree with Rob on this. Exactly everything Rob said. I mean, it's they don't make any money.
So it officially says.
Yes.
See, I totally disagree. I absolutely
Well, why do you disagree?
Well, if there was going to be an aspect of saying, hey, look, well, first of all, like, for example, my university, USC, you're not allowed to have your names on the back of your jerseys. All right. And the reason why is because you're part of a team. And so you're not actually making money off of likeness or whatever, because every player is just a player. All right. And now, don't get me wrong, but they're given an opportunity to go to one of the top tier schools in the country. All right. It's a top 1 tier school. All right. And if you stay there for 4 years to get an education, there's no one who's unemployed. No one. I would care to say there's no one that's unemployed that has a USC degree. No one. All right. Same thing would be for Vanderbilt. If you went to Vanderbilt, no one. Duke, another one. No one. All right. And, even here in Tennessee, because of the Tennessee connection, University of Tennessee, I know no one who has a degree from UT, even if it's an English degree, and they're unemployed. All right. You're missing the premise behind it. The whole concept is that the colleges are supposed to be like the minor league for the professional athletes. And what I would rather see now, do I think there could be some, because Rob made some very good concessions that I think you have to think about. I do agree with you that their scholarships don't cover everything. I wish they got a higher stipend, or even maybe even if they could work out a percentage of the athletes that was shared across the team. That's where I would differ. I don't want it to be one person, because then you start getting the prima donna atmosphere and the aspect where they're acting out this clown, this behavior. And then you essentially have the NFL and you have people dancing in the end zone. I don't want to see all that nonsense. Like you've been there before. Score a touchdown, hand the ball to the ref, like the greatest football player ever, which was LaDainian Tomlinson. Hey, look, unless you're a lineman, now we'll take that back. If you're a lineman, if you want to act like a fool when you cross well, you need to not be Leon Lett. You need to make it across the goal line. All right. But if you want to get there and have a 30 minute jam session because this is the first time you scored, I think that may be something of value and worth it, because you probably won't ever get that opportunity again. All right. But if you're a wide receiver, you're a running back, you're a quarterback, and you're going to dance like this is the first time you've ever synchronized dancing and all this stuff like this is the first time you've ever been across it, I'm looking at you like, what kind of fool is this? Like, I don't want to see all that nonsense. That's generally like whoever scores, even if it's my team, I'm like, that's cool. Now, if I had a team, now I'm going to go pour another drink or whatever, because I don't need to see all this jackassery. All right. I just don't.
Barry Sanders was like that too.
Yeah. Just score,
really,
you don't have to have emotion about it. I mean, you can have emotion about the game, but you don't have to have, are we watching Dances with the Stars? Are we watching football? Like, it's supposed to be barbaric. And then I see these guys like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I'm like, come on, man. You see that as a reference to our president. Come on, man.
I do think these athletes deserve some sort of compensation. Even if
they do get one, it's called a scholarship.
Yeah, I mean, I get that too. I mean, sure, but at the same time, the school and what they profit off of that. And listen, you can be a college athlete on the way to the pros, and you have a game where somebody decides to chop block you and take your knees out. I mean, you still have an education. Yeah, you have an education, but I mean, granted, the education is the primary source. But you should be able to have something when you leave there on top of the education.
What do you need extra than an education? I mean, now you're putting that someone, like, for example, if I was an engineer and I was one of the greatest brains of all time and I got an academic scholarship, and I then found the cure for cancer, or I was one of the people who was involved for, NASA and this, that, and whatever. Because I was such a great person with my brain, I should get an extra high stipend because the university is making a lot of money.
I mean, true, but they don't make as much money as they would off a athlete, and we all know because these schools get buku bucks from,
as they should, from boosters and from everybody,
and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, and listen, I'm not mad. I understand it's a business, but I feel like some compensation. I'm not saying it needs to be in the millions, but they make it so hard because as a student athlete, you can't have any kind of outside compensation, meaning I can't take you to dinner. I can't, fly you out somewhere or something like that as a booster or a sponsor.
But what other kind of college student gets to do that? And see, that's the part you're missing, is that you're not trying to create classism. You're trying to create the value of the degree as being everyone there is getting the best possible education as humanly possible that this school can offer. And that's the reason why the vast majority of them are taking out student loans to go to school, to pay for it, to be there.
Yeah, and that's true. The not to get too much into it, but like, in sympathy for student athletes, like a big draw of what gets, the notoriety for colleges is their sports and their platform. If you have like one of the top teams, like that is a draw, that is publicity, that makes money for the college. And, oftentimes like, students will, can be put through the ringer in terms of what's required of them, physically as well as academically. And I think it's a fair point to say that, maybe they aren't really being scholarship or no, or being, properly compensated in a way that's commensurate for, what the college actually benefits from, from their performance. So yeah, of course they're looking out for themselves and stuff.
And that's what I mean. Even if, and I'm not downplaying the value of a scholarship, but if we had to put a number on a scholarship, even if you wanted to really put it up there, 250, 275, 300K, what the school makes for that athlete being there is, I don't know how many times more, but let's face it. What did Florida State make off of Deion Sanders just being there?
No, it's not just what the individual school makes. I mean, look at what the NCAA makes itself. Before we even talk about the money that they give to the school, the NCAA is $1 billion business.
Absolutely.
And
I mean, listen,
that's basketball and football, because they make a killing for March Madness.
I mean, that's it exactly. Yes. I mean, the college basketball owns March. They own the month of March. There's no other event that's going to happen during the month of March that's going to take over that spot. NFL owns Sunday. Let's face it.
Disagree. I've been watching hockey all through March. I've never watched a basketball game in my life.
Well, you're a PhD, so you don't count. You're stupid dumb at the same time, so it's okay.
But I know the difference between your and you are.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, I'm from the hood, so I don't have to know.
But you still spell it UR.
I have been known to take shorthand. Not too good to mention that.
Oh my.
When I feel like it, I'll ask you a question too.
See, now you're gonna get us kicked off of Facebook because you're talking about killing people. You're gonna ask me,
and I'm gonna drink to that.
Well, he seconds the axing.
Yeah, and if you challenge it, sorry, you're wrong.
See, that's the correct. You are wrong. You are wrong.
Don't waste it. Don't spit it out.
Get it down.
I never spit.
We're not into alcohol abuse around here.
Chuck is like, I still don't believe I'm on this show.
He's like, this is why I'm very quiet.
I tried to stay out of this.
None of this shit on me.
No, it's just my nature to be quiet. That's it.
You're fine.
It doesn't sound like the Triple H I know. Dude, speaking of which, I watched a fantastic biography the other day on Stone Cold.
Yes.
You need to watch that if you haven't seen that on A&E.
Like,
Man,
watch-
even if you don't even like wrestling and all, that is fantastic. Of course, I did. I used to love wrestling when it was Rock and Stone Cold and all that stuff. I used to get every one of those pay-per-views. One of the guys used to be on the show, Buddy Josky, one of my best friends in the entire world, military guy. And he and I, we lived we were stationed up in Washington together. And every month, WWF at the time had a pay-per-view that they would have. And we set that this happened one month. We had this plan where it was, hey, if I'm paying for pay-per-view, you bring the beer. So he shows up with Keystone Light. And I'm like, Keystone Light? Like, I know how much that costs at the exchange. It's like maybe $5 back in 1996. All right.
Then you get change back.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like a case of it. And he's like, I'm like, this is horrible, dude. What do you think?
Better than that 350 Natty Light, man.
And then he's like, he hands me one. He goes, but look, if you look inside the can, they're lined to make it taste like it's coming from a bottle. I'm like,
man.
I'm like,
I pay
Hold on, is that a real thing?
for this pay-per-view.
Is that a real thing though?
no, it's not a real thing. That's just a made-up marketing story. He's a hell of a salesperson. All right.
Are you saying it's puffery?
Yeah, it's not even puffery, straight up lying.
You got me because
Same difference.
got me on that one.
So anyway, and like, so when I came to this epiphany that I was never going to be fooled by this nonsense again, was the next morning I had a flight I was supposed to be on, and I went and I did my flight and all this stuff, and I was just, thank God that I had to be outside the aircraft or anything like that, like, or around people. Like, I was just like, oh my God. Because when I went to take a piss, it smelled exactly the same coming out as it did going in. I was like, I could just put the can down here and tell them it's going to taste like it's coming from a bottle. Like it's a specially lined can. Yeah.
Coffee pee. I've never heard of beer
Not good.
What's that? I'm sorry.
That sounds like coffee pee.
You don't like coffee?
Coffee.
No, I love coffee, but after a
When
couple
you pee
cups,
after, yeah.
it smells just like coffee. I've never noticed that with beer before.
Well, anyway, so so the next time what we did was we just made a pot and we would invite friends over and we would share that joint cost of the pay-per-view, and then I would get Alaskan Amber for myself because that's what I liked, and he actually went up to Lucky Lager, was like the next step up, which was kind of cool because Lucky Lager was the little short bottles, they're cute, and underneath each cap had like some type of little trivia question. So I guess if you had too many to drink and you just looked at the cap and like, what kind of Russian nonsense is this, and you just threw it away, then that might be a time you need to stop and don't drive.
Sounds like Mickey's.
Yeah.
It sounds like Mickey's.
Well, they're
Yeah.
just like, they look just like that. If you look up Lucky Lager, I swear to Christ, I'll look it up for you.
I think the cheapest thing that we as a youngster was Rolling Rock.
Yeah.
Water.
Rolling Rock. Yeah.
Rolling Rock wasn't awful though.
No, it wasn't awful. It was
just
one of
water.
those. It was one
it
of
was
those
an easy
beers
drinker. Yeah.
that if you were underage at the corner store around this corner from my house, you walked in, you didn't say anything to the salesman, he didn't ask you anything. If it was like $7 for the 6-pack, you gave him a $10 bill and you
Walk straight out the door.
walked out.
And walked out.
Don't say a thing.
See? All right. So here's one of the bottle caps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is that Mickey's?
What's
Who had
in
the
the-
ball like
No,
that?
that's Lucky Lager.
that's
I never
funny.
had Lucky's. Well,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Billy,
so-
my thing was my underage alcohol stories. It was all because I was.
I wouldn't, wait a minute. Tell me I wasn't underage.
oh shit.
I'm
That's
saying
even
I
worse.
was when I started
Oh.
drinking. I was in DC. Mark, you
Uh-oh.
call back to them a lot.
There we go, brother.
I made friends with lots of homeless people in DC. You get them to go into the liquor store or the corner store for you, and they would buy you my little like 110-pound ass, like a 40 of like King Cobra or some other malt liquor kind of shit. Like,
Okay.
and you would pay them like, I'm gonna give you this now. I'm gonna give you this when you come back with the beer that I want you to bring to me. And we would hook it up that way, and then we would drink together afterwards.
Wait, time out.
Okay, hold up, Billy. Stay right there for me, Billy. Did you happen to meet the gentleman? So everyone in DC knows this guy. He has no arms.
DC's a big place, man. Come on.
Yeah, but he has no arms. And
Yeah, I
he's
mean, they're
always
trying to make it a
outside,
state.
And his skin looks like he
should.
stood in front of one of the Harry Potter dragons.
Oh, shit.
Really burned. And Rob, he would
I
always
ain't met
talk
that
to
dude.
women.
Like,
That
I'm
wasn't
talking
him.
about like
He
DC
would
in
always
the
talk to
90s.
women at their car, and you would give him money just to get him the hell out your face because he would terrify women.
I didn't meet that dude.
I wasn't him.
Listen,
Okay.
And you know what? I probably didn't pay no attention to him because he didn't have no arms to go into the store.
Listen, let me tell you.
Buy alcohol for me.
You carry it out like this.
The puffery I detect.
He's got it between his knees.
The puffery I detect in Dave's story is the fact that he claims he was 110 pounds. I don't buy that.
No, that's not puffed, man. I was a skinny little shit. Like for real.
I don't think he was 110. Maybe when you were holding the beer.
Right.
Oh, I see. Puffing up. Okay. Yeah. All right. You know, I'll take that. I'll take that. That's fine. Yeah,
All
110.
right, Chuck, come on. It's your turn. Let's hear
with
your
a 40
underage
inch.
drinking story.
For me, it was National or Natty Bow,
Natty
probably
Boh.
like $4 a case.
Oh,
And between that and the Mad Dog 2020,
Oh,
Dude, that's just stupid right there. Mad
Oh,
Dog
oh, that was the
Or-
greatest thing in the world.
No,
how about
said nobody
Mad
ever.
Dog.
Wild
love that
Irish
stuff.
Rose?
It's like
Wild
SoCo.
Irish Rose. Remember that one?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Remember the box?
Thunderbird?
Remember the box wine?
No,
You don't
No.
remember box?
I don't
wine?
go there.
I bypassed
No box wine.
I remember the
We're
Mad
going to
do
talk
Dog.
about
Mad
Mad
Dog,
Dog. We're
Thunderbird,
going to talk about
my
Mad
journey
Dog
to liquor.
2020.
anymore.
We need to bring up box
Yeah,
wine.
the Mad Dog, the Irish Rose, Cisco. And when you really got fancy and you wanted to impress a girl, anybody remember Zima?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I had some
was
of those
clear.
within the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Hold on, you found it recently?
Yep. They
Yeah, they've had it back.
re-released them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know.
And
that.
I don't remember. And you know what? It tasted so horrible, and I don't remember it tasting that bad back in the 90s.
I mean, because you know, you were drinking for
Remember
other
90s.
reasons.
Hey,
I was
Zima
getting-
had Bartles and James.
Bartles
There
and
you
James
go.
was
The
awesome.
ladies
Their
love that
commercials
stuff.
were fantastic.
Yes, they were.
From two old guys sitting on
Yeah.
the porch.
Yep.
Two great. Well, they
Yeah.
were sitting all over the place. They would either be in the porch or they'd be on in the swamp, standing like chest high,
Right.
talking about whatever kinds of birds and bees or whatever,
You know,
or they'd be wherever. I mean, they were always someplace.
Didn't they have like a Model T or something like that?
They did have
Yeah.
that too.
Probably.
Yeah.
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 That's
And
what
then-
all the ladies wanted Zima when they came out, or Bartles, because the Zima was a little tart, but the Bartles and James was just sweet.
And
I
you can get the Bartles and James in a 2-liter.
Yeah. I
Really?
remember the
You know, if you really wanted to.
the
do that.
wine coolers came in a little 4-pack.
Yeah, I always got the 4-pack. I didn't know about
Yeah.
that one.
Mhm.
Remember when Jack Daniels used to have their drinks in like little 6-packs, a little like little watermelon stuff, and they had the
Oh, yeah.
Sure, they still
Those
have
fake
that.
teas, those little fake
Wow.
teas.
The wine coolers, right?
well, you know that
It
I
is
don't
all
drink
wine
Jack
coolers.
Daniels. So this was back in the day when I did drink Jack Daniels. This is part of the
but
reason
even
why I don't
then-
drink it now.
There's
Same
like
time frame. Yeah.
Jack Daniels, then there's like wine, the world of wine coolers, which is what we're talking about.
Yeah. Just know at this
It's
point,
like
all I-
watermelon or lemon, and the Mike's hard, this and that.
By the way, we
Wine-
started this conversation just to kind of circle us back around where we're at currently. This all stemmed from
Football.
it's Derby. No, it's Derby week.
Oh,
we
that's
didn't
the
talk-
worst.
We didn't talk about the horses, which I have a list. We didn't have any of that.
But hang on a second.
No,
Who here
Kentucky would've
watches?
been-
Who here watches the Kentucky Derby? Who
I do
here's
every year.
watched it?
Yeah.
Really?
I
I
love
actually
it.
I did last year. 19, I was on the road. 18.
I watch it every year.
Yeah,
I
'cause I'm
think it's
supposed to be there.
fantastic. I've always wanted to go. It's like one of those. I've been to a lot of things in my life, but that is one of my bucket list things I really want to do. is
But
go.
you know what I noticed
I've
about
been
the Derby
twice,
though?
but
I mean, I would
I've
do it. Like,
watched.
I probably wouldn't ever care. But if I went, I would probably enjoy like being there in the experience.
No, man, I
and
totally
things like
love
that.
watching those horses. Those horses are beautiful.
But from
Oh, they
what I
certainly
noticed,
are.
And
the
then they
last
find
few
all those
years-
midgets to ride it. I think that's cool.
You're there for the
Little
midgets.
people.
And we
Jimmy.
know this. This is
Little
this,
people.
This is
Yeah, you know that.
Barcast After Dark thing.
Don't get us canceled.
No gnomes, just little.
If we hadn't got canceled up to this point, it ain't going to happen with that.
No, but you know what I noticed about the Derby the last couple of years? I mean, yes, the race is still televised,
Yeah.
but most of the hoopla is about the party surrounding.
Mhm.
Well, that's the way it's always
Oh, it's
been
the
since the
day.
very
You gotta
it's
make
the
it
very
happen.
first day. That's
It's
like
the-
Talladega.
yes.
If you've ever been to Talladega,
Mm.
that's actually not about the race. I mean, don't get me wrong. True people who love racing, it is about the race for them. But for like me, it's about the infield and the party that goes on there, man. That is
Pocono's the
Unbelievable.
same way.
yeah,
Yeah,
Pocono,
Poconos,
and then
yeah.
like
Pocono,
Atlanta
Indy 500.
Speedway, and then if you get the chance to go to Bristol, I absolutely loathe stock car racing and all that, and loathe it. Think it's I mean, I think it's cool to watch, but when that's not true, that's the reason why I hate it. I think it's cool that cars can go that fast and they do this, that, and whatever.
He doesn't know how he feels about it.
But what I can say is that the the atmosphere and then the crowd that it draws is absolutely amazing to watch.
Yeah.
I have
And,
a
you know,
buddy of mine that does the Indy 500 every year, and
I'd like to go to that. I bet that's fun.
he does fairly. He's done fairly well for himself in life, so he's always on the infield of the Indy 500.
Oh,
He said it is the largest party ever. I mean, these guys, they've created games. They get tournaments going. They're there on Thursday. They're loading the infield. They're partying for 4 nights. It's quite a fun weekend from what I hear.
That does sound fun.
And you know, here in South Florida, we have Daytona, but in South Florida, we don't have a race that gets crazy like that. But every year we have a regatta here in South Florida.
That's
like
what I was called
regatta.
Newport, Rhode Island.
The regatta has absolutely nothing to do with boats or race.
No. But hey, if you guys ever get a chance to go to Newport, when Newport has their regatta, oh, dude, it is just
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yes, man. I miss Rhode Island a little bit.
They do the same thing in San Francisco Bay and also San Diego Bay. They do the same thing, and then of course in San Diego Bay they do the those airplanes that are like prop planes that go really, really fast that are tiny.
Yeah.
They're like midget planes.
The air races.
Yeah.
The
They're about
Red Bull air races.
The sport
Yeah.
aviation. Are you talking about the? Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, where they like go around these like those wiggly
The
things that they
aerobatics,
put aerobatics. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Hey, but not for nothing, you gotta
Yes.
have an incredible amount of skill to do that.
Yeah.
I've seen some of those pilots like back in the day.
Well, those people
While
who
ago.
drive 200 something miles an hour on a boat.
When I used to fly airplanes, there was one of the airports I used to train out of. There was a guy who had one of those those
Midget. They're
aerobatic
called
avi-
midgets.
it was like an extra.
I think they are really
300S,
called
whatever it's
midgets.
I don't think he was personally a midget. But
No, I'm talking about the
watch
planes.
a guy like you're on like approach to final, like you're getting ready to land on a run, like an actual runway. This is me doing this as a pilot, and some guy does like dodges in front of you, like does like a barrel roll, and then like lands like it was nothing. Like just that's just what I'm doing. Like a couple hundred feet off the ground. I'm like, yeah, I thought I had big old balls doing this, but like no, this guy is legit. Like he did that 50 feet off the ground and then landed his airplane like it wasn't nothing. And you're like, okay, that's a whole other level, man.
And just a side note, Formula One just recently signed a 10-year deal with the city of Miami Gardens. So for the next 10 years, starting next year, F1 will be here in North Miami.
Well,
that'll be fun.
Well, from horse racing, we covered essentially we didn't cover what's it when they stab each other with those like those swords that bend and they have on the mesh.
Fencing.
Yeah, we didn't cover fencing, but we essentially covered everything else.
We'll get James on for that one.
Finish him.
Yeah.
But I think within this hour
Or boxing, maybe.
Boxing. I mean, there's only in our lifetimes, who is the greatest of all time? We can all probably say it together. Mike Tyson.
Ali.
In our lifetime. Like
Ali
we
was in
watched
our lifetime.
Ali.
but we didn't watch
He
him
was still
fight.
prominent in like the
And just so
80s?
you know, Mr. PhD, even Tyson himself said Ali is the greatest fighter of all time.
No, I agree.
Yes, he did.
Greatest fighter of all
But he's
time.
saying-
I agree. But in our lifetime, where we watched it, did you watch an Ali fight? The answer is no.
Oh, Iron Mike.
live. No,
Hold on here. Okay, here's one for you, Jody, really quickly. So
I did see two.
I was in the Navy. I was about to go in the Navy. I was in the Navy then. My brother and we were living in New Orleans for a little while.
Mhm.
I had to get the hell out of DC. And we're down there, so we order pizza, right? Fight about to come on, we order pizza, get the pizza, we're at the door paying for the pizza, and we're trying to avoid, we always had to keep a can of Raid on the inside of the door and on the outside of the door because mosquitoes, right?
Right.
So I get the can, my brother opens the door, we spray a cloud of Raid, we pay the pizza, we turn around, the fight's over.
Are you asking me which one that is?
$10 on that damn
That was
fight.
definitely a Tyson fight.
Yeah,
we spent
absolutely.
$60 on that fight and saw it after the fact.
All I was saying was and we do got to end this. We're at an hour, but the greatest fighter of that means the people here, lifetime,
With you.
that we could see fight without doubt is Mike Tyson.
Tyson, yes, for sure.
I mean,
Absolutely.
Agreed. Yeah.
but no, I didn't say the greatest fighter of all time
I'm
because
with you.
I
Can't
mean,
argue.
You're
I still
right,
like
you're right.
Holyfield better, if I'm being honest.
But you know, it was
Well, you're an
funny.
idiot.
It was
I mean, you can say that and be wrong. That's fine.
it was Tyson was very humble when he was asked, and he was very, very humble about who was the greatest fighter of all time. And he's like, no, hands down.
Yeah,
Ali.
Ali.
no, I that I've seen as well because I watched the bio on him also on A&E. But hey, guys, as always, we went straight to shenanigans from the get go, and I think it was this is what you expect when you watch our show. So,
The Shenanigan Show.
Good bourbon and talk.
Great show,
Yeah.
guys.
And
well,
I
it's
will-
supposed to be a bar. You know, it's a
Yeah.
virtual bar. Oh, hold on a
And-
second. I didn't pour myself a drink. So,
and I will toast to our
I drink
livers.
for you, Jody. I got you.
well, no,
our
I just did.
livers.
I didn't pour a drink.
What's Billy? Billy, what are you saying?
We're gonna toast to our livers because they're ready to testify against us in a court of law.
That's it.
I'll edit that part out.
Evan Williams Green.
Gentlemen, love y'all.
Be good to yourselves, gentlemen.
I'm sorry you're
Peace
wrong.
out.
Mm.
Idiots.
Williams.